Across central Greece, enormous pillars of stone rise almost vertically from the Thessalian plain. Forest fills the valleys between them, mist drifts around their summits, and high above the ground stand monasteries that seem almost impossibly balanced between rock and sky. This is Meteora, one of Greece's most extraordinary landscapes. Sandstone towers dominate the horizon above Kalabaka, forming a natural skyline unlike anything else in the country. At their highest points, stone buildings appear almost impossibly small against the cliffs beneath them. Monasteries occupy narrow summits hundreds of meters above the surrounding fields, with mountains extending toward the distant horizon. The Great Meteoron rises on one of the largest rock formations. Stone walls follow the edge of the summit while forested slopes and isolated pillars fall away dramatically beneath the monastery. Nearby, Varlaam occupies another immense column of rock. What appears from below to be an inaccessible summit supports courtyards, chapels and buildings surrounded on almost every side by open air. For the monks who established communities here centuries ago, isolation was part of the purpose. Cliffs created separation from the world below, turning an already extraordinary geological landscape into a place of contemplation and refuge. Other monasteries appear almost suspended above the valley. Roussanou seems to grow directly from the summit beneath it, while the narrow rock supporting the monastery rises dramatically above surrounding forest. At Agia Triada, the cliffs fall steeply toward the valley floor. The monastery stands above Kalabaka with the Thessalian plain spreading far beyond the rock formations toward distant mountain ranges. Roads now wind between the pillars, but the scale of Meteora remains overwhelming. Tiny buildings, paths and patches of farmland almost disappear beneath rock towers shaped over millions of years by erosion. Beyond Meteora, the landscape rises westward toward the Pindus Mountains. Forested ridges gather around deep valleys where rivers descend from some of mainland Greece's wildest high country. In Epirus, the Vikos Gorge cuts through the mountains of Zagori. Limestone walls rise above a narrow valley while dense woodland follows the depths of a canyon extending between traditional stone villages. At the base of these mountains, the Voidomatis River flows with extraordinary clarity. Blue-green water moves beneath plane trees and pale limestone cliffs, creating a luminous ribbon through the forest. Stone bridges cross sections of the river and its tributaries farther into Zagori. Their arches connect old paths between villages scattered across mountains where deep gorges once made even short journeys difficult. Waterfalls descend through the surrounding forests after rain and snowmelt. Streams disappear into narrow ravines before joining larger rivers flowing toward the valleys of western Greece. High above them, Zagori's stone villages occupy ridges and small pockets of level ground. Gray roofs blend into the mountains while forests and cliffs dominate almost every view beyond the settlements. This geography helped make isolation a recurring part of religious life across Greece. Monasteries were often established where mountains, cliffs and deep valleys naturally separated communities from the world beyond them. Farther south, the Peloponnese rises into another landscape of rugged mountains and forested gorges. Rivers cut through Arcadia beneath villages built on steep slopes overlooking valleys hidden within the interior. The Lousios River winds through one of these gorges beneath dense woodland. Clear water moves between rocks far below cliffs where paths follow the valley through a landscape that feels remarkably distant from Greece's famous islands and beaches. High above the river, the monastery of St. John the Baptist appears attached almost directly to the cliff. Stone buildings extend along a narrow ledge beneath an overhanging rock face, suspended above the forested gorge. And deeper into the mountains, Greece's hidden monasteries continue, along inaccessible valleys, beneath towering cliffs and eventually toward a remote peninsula where forested mountains descend directly into the blue waters of the Aegean. Deeper within the Lousios Gorge, monasteries appear between cliffs and forest almost without warning. Their stone walls occupy narrow shelves above the river, surrounded by mountains that conceal them until the valley closes around the path. The monastery of Philosophou belongs to this secluded landscape. Its older remains sit beneath a natural rock shelter, while the surrounding gorge falls toward dense woodland and the waters of the Lousios below. From the heights of Arcadia, rivers continue through valleys filled with forests, stone villages and steep mountain slopes. In winter and spring, snowmelt adds movement to streams that eventually descend toward the lower Peloponnese. Farther north, another remarkable monastery occupies the cliffs of Mount Parnassus. Lousios Gorge sits beneath rugged mountains overlooking a broad valley of olive groves extending toward the Gulf of Corinth. Here, the landscape begins opening toward water again. Mountain slopes descend toward deep blue gulfs while distant ridges rise across channels connecting mainland Greece with the Peloponnese. Travel west and the mountains become increasingly dramatic around the Gulf of Corinth. Cliffs fall toward brilliant water while settlements occupy narrow coastal strips beneath slopes rising almost immediately from the sea. Above the town of Diakopto, the Vouraikos Gorge cuts deep into the northern Peloponnese. A river winds between forested cliffs and exposed rock as the valley climbs toward the mountains around Kalavrita. Nearby, the monastery of Mega Spilaio occupies a huge opening beneath a towering rock face. Its buildings appear pressed against the cliff hundreds of meters above the valley, with mountains rising behind the monastery. The surrounding terrain gives the monastery its extraordinary scale. Forests fill the lower slopes while ravines and rocky ridges extend toward high country that becomes snow-covered during the colder months. Across northern Greece, mountains continue toward Macedonia and Thrace. Lakes appear between forested ranges, rivers cross broad valleys and remote monasteries occupy slopes overlooking landscapes far removed from the country's island resorts. Eventually the journey reaches the Halkidiki Peninsula, where three narrow fingers of land extend into the northern Aegean. Forested mountains descend toward intensely blue water along coastlines of rocky coves and sheltered bays. The easternmost peninsula is Mount Athos, a mountainous landscape occupied by Orthodox monastic communities for more than 1,000 years. Its forests and steep slopes remain largely undeveloped compared with many other stretches of the Greek coastline. Monasteries appear along this remote shore between mountain and sea. Some stand above rocky headlands while others occupy steep forested slopes descending directly toward the Aegean. At Simonopetra, buildings rise dramatically above the coastline from an exposed rock formation. Terraces seem stacked against the mountainside while the sea stretches far below toward an uninterrupted horizon. Farther along the peninsula, other monasteries emerge from dense forest beside sheltered coves. Stone walls, towers and courtyards appear between trees while narrow roads and paths follow the contours of the mountains. Above everything rises Mount Athos itself. The mountain climbs more than 2,000 meters almost directly from the Aegean, its summit often standing above clouds gathering around the peninsula. From the surrounding water, the scale of this landscape becomes extraordinary. Monasteries appear tiny beneath forested mountains while cliffs and rocky slopes descend toward deep blue sea. Access to Mount Athos is strictly regulated, preserving an unusual degree of isolation. For most visitors, its monasteries and mountains remain a distant world experienced only under specific entry rules or from the waters beyond the peninsula. That isolation connects Mount Athos with the cliff monasteries scattered across mainland Greece. Different landscapes created different forms of separation, from towering rock pillars and deep river gorges to mountains surrounded by sea. At Meteora, monks climbed above the Thessalian plain. In Arcadia, communities disappeared into forested gorges, while on Mount Athos an entire peninsula became shaped by centuries of monastic life. The architecture is remarkable, but the landscapes explain why these places feel extraordinary. Buildings that might seem substantial elsewhere become almost insignificant beneath cliffs, mountains and enormous open skies. Greece is often imagined through whitewashed islands and turquoise beaches. Yet beyond that familiar coastline lies another country of deep canyons, mountain rivers, forests and stone sanctuaries occupying places that once seemed almost unreachable. Some stand above luminous rivers. Others cling beneath overhanging cliffs or look across the Aegean from mountainsides covered in forest. And perhaps nowhere is the relationship between solitude and landscape more visible. The farther these monasteries seem removed from the world below, the more completely the mountains, cliffs and water become part of their story. From the impossible rock towers of Meteora to the remote shores beneath Mount Athos, Greece's hidden monasteries reveal a landscape where isolation was not simply sought. It was built into the cliffs themselves.